Titles. Go.
Far Cry Altmar.
Crazy Betty.
Second to last?
Finally scored.
Reigns and jorts.
More than one sack?
Tennis girl crip walking.
The Sweet Life of Badass Cody.
Hey, I can pitch.
Reverend Jack.
Let's do this.
Warning. What you are about to hear contains explicit language, adult themes, and potentially disturbing content. The views and opinions expressed are those of the hosts and do not reflect the opinions of anyone else, anywhere, ever, in the history of the world. This podcast is intended for an immature audience and should not be listened to by anyone, anywhere, ever, in the history of the world. You know, fuck it. You've been warned.
Hello and welcome to this week's edition of Geek Pod. I'm your host, Paul.
I'm Hugh.
I'm busy, but I'm Corbs.
I'm DC.
I'm up Corb's nose. I'm Jack.
Guys, what's got you geeked?
All right, I got to show you something. I know that this is not gaming week, so I won't go
he
into
wants to
too
show us
much
something.
detail. But of course, because every time we have we get together, I've got something new. I picked this up on Saturday.
Ooh.
That looks
The-
huge. What is that?
It is the Midnight Black PlayStation Portal.
Ooh.
And it turns out the Midnight Black just came out on Thursday, which is the day I discovered this thing even existed. I didn't know that this was a brand new color. All I gotta say, guys, is this thing is amazing. Basically, it's a remote play device. The idea behind this is that you can remote play your PlayStation 5 from this as long as you're on good internet. You can also stream games. If because now they have with PlayStation Plus, they have game streaming, so there's a whole library that you can stream right to this thing. The thing about it is, I was playing around with remote play on several of my devices. It works on my Retroid Pocket 5, it works on my Steam Deck, but nothing felt right. This device is a DualSense controller split in half with a big 8-inch LCD screen in the middle. Okay. It feels like you're holding your PlayStation controller. It's fucking awesome. My internet's great, and I hardwired the PlayStation 5, so I have no issues. I've also tested. I can use it on other networks. I'm going to do a little more testing. I had to set up some port forwarding just to make sure that things were open. And I don't even really understand what I did, but we'll see if it works. This thing's awesome. 200 bucks, and this is now the thing I play the most. My PlayStation 5 is finally getting use. You know, turn it on, connect to the PlayStation, bang. Oh, look, there's a reflection of everybody in it.
Yep.
That's what
kinda
I was
neat.
looking at the whole time.
That's kind of neat. I can't recommend this enough, but you do have to have good internet. But I mean, I set it so that it can wake up the PlayStation 5. I sit down on the toilet, fire it up, boom. I'm playing Bloodborne while taking a poop. Doesn't get any better than that.
You definitely are
Outstanding.
playing some Bloodborne.
You don't even know what Bloodborne is, do you?
I don't know. But I just know what the other Bloodborne is.
The fuck
That's
is the
Jason
other?
Bourne.
All right. What has me geeked? This was in the works for a while now, but I actually got to do this last weekend. I was pretty excited. So my buddy and I, we were having lunch a month ago, and he's like, "So, how you been?" I'm like, "Good." So I'm like, "I don't know where this is leading." He's buying me lunch. We're having some beer. I'm like, "Something's up." I'm like, "What's going on?" He's like, "So, you're doing good. That's good. I want to get married." I'm like, "I thought you were married with three." He has three kids. He's been with his, I would say now, girlfriend for 15 years. His kids are 6, 5, and 2 months. So I was like, "Yeah, I want to get married." I'm like, "Fantastic. That's awesome. I'm very happy for you." He's like, "Yeah, I think I want to do it at the end of the month." I'm like, "Rather soon, but okay. That's your call. Do what you want." So, do you want to come to the wedding? I'm like, a little late notice, but sure, I'll be there, whatever you want. Do you want to perform the wedding?
Outstanding.
So I'm like, what? So I literally look at him. He's like, yeah. So I pull out my phone, click, 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 click. So you're looking at Reverend John Corbett at your service, but I go by Jack. So I'm an ordained minister now. So we had the wedding in Skinny Atlas. I'm in a suit. So we got married I married them at the gazebo last Saturday, where it was piss cold, like it was freezing out. So it was actually pretty nice because literally you just go online, do a couple clicks, you're an ordained minister. And I was watching a YouTube channel, how to perform weddings, because I've never done a wedding. So I literally, it was like you find the script and then you literally take out all the blanks and put their names in there. Pretty straightforward. I was like, yeah, we're done. So it was like 5 pages long, which was not that long, which I thought was great. But yeah, it was myself, his wife, and him, and 2 witnesses. So 5 people. It was great.
Nice.
So we did that, and then we went to the Sherwood for a late lunch, which was awesome. So Reverend John Corbett, but I go by Jack. Testify. You're ordained
Welcome.
minister.
Welcome to the club.
Right, yeah. I mean, now the majority of Geek Pod is all ministers, right?
I'm going to be
All
doing
ministered up.
Yeah, I'm going to be doing 2 more marriages next month. So this is awesome.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I'm getting
Jesus.
picked. This is great. I need to get like some more official gear. I just was in a suit. I was like, I need something really good. But I looked. It was pretty
Did you
fun.
do it through Universal Life?
Yeah. Is that where you
So
guys
we're-
did it from?
Yep.
Yeah.
So we're all part of the same clergy. Okay.
Yeah. All right.
You know, if you go on their website,
Hey.
you can get like credentials and shit.
That's what I saw. Like you can
Get the
get like
thing
the
for parking
robes.
passes and shit.
Well,
Yeah.
Yeah.
now that more than half of us are ministers, should we go back to that whole starting a cult idea?
How'd that work
Yeah.
out the last time?
You'll have to refresh my memory. I don't remember that episode at all.
I remember it.
Drink the Kool-Aid. But no, it was like literally just 2 clicks, and I was like, "This is awesome." And literally, he was like, "Yeah, I'll get you whatever you want." I'm like, "Can you order my stuff?" Haven't heard from him since. So he's done.
Crickets.
Exactly.
Hey, Jack, just so you know, because you're like, oh, testify, I want to get some stuff. Like, you can't go out and like buy like Catholic gear, like the little thing and all that stuff. Okay, I just
You
wanted to
can
make.
actually technically.
Well, no,
but I'm not going
you
to.
can, but that would be fucking weird.
No, I know. That's why I said Reverend. I'm not Father.
Well,
John
I don't
Corbett.
know how much you know about that stuff, so.
Oh, I'm very much aware for sure.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Oh, I did the same thing. I fell down a rabbit hole after I did it, finding out
Did you
what you
buy all
can and
this
can't
shit?
do with it, and yeah,
Yeah, no.
my collar is gonna be green. That's
But yeah, like
Absolutely.
literally, like people like they're like, yeah, you're an ordained minister now. Do you want to do our wedding? I'm like, sure. They're like, I'll pay you. I'm like, okay, I'll do
my
it.
answer has been no. I did it the one time for my buddy who asked me to do it, and after that, it's always been no. I have blessed some holy water, just
You really?
holy Budweiser, maybe. That's
Oh yeah,
just,
probably.
Little water to wine.
I don't know. Like
that
I
I
want to
haven't
literally
perfected
talk.
yet.
Yeah, I want to literally talk to them, but this was rather quickly. So they even gave me their rings. And I really wish I was wearing gloves on Saturday because it was so fucking cold in Skinny Atlas. You're like, here are the rings. It's so freaking cold. But literally, I have my script on a book, and I have to like crinkle, crinkle, crinkle. It's like I have to like somebody's taking a video of it. I'm like, oh, this is so embarrassing.
Oh, they got me for the thank you gift. They got me a notebook that almost looked like a little fucking religious text thing, and I
Mhm.
printed off. I screwed with the sizes so that my prints would be the right size for the book. Printed them off and fucking pasted them into the book so it looked like I was reading from an official book.
That's
Oh,
I'll have to
man.
find it.
If I was gonna do that, I'd do the same thing, but put it in my replica Necronomicon.
Fantastic though. 3
Oh,
of the
that's
5 of us
awesome.
are ordained.
It sounds like the Corbett boys need to get on this.
Not gonna happen.
Yeah, like I'm confirmed Catholic. Not gonna happen.
Oh, I'm Catholic too. I'm probably going to hell for this, but I don't care.
Yeah.
Atheist. All right, boys. What do we got?
I'll go. So what's got me geeked? Couple of different things. One is I'm almost all the way through Far Cry 5.
Nice.
I just again looking, waiting for a one game to come out. It did come out, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna play Far Cry. I've never played one before. And speaking of cults, that's what you're facing in this game, is a cult. You're in a fictional place in Montana called Hope County. you're a rookie U.S. Marshal, and four people in the cult. The father, who's the leader, and then his two sons and daughter, and they're in different regions in this part of Montana, and you have to do all the story missions to build up the resistance to go against the father at the end, which I'm not there yet. But once you get to, I'm in the third region now. I've defeated two of the one of the sons and the daughter one is fucking creepy as shit. But yeah, it's all you know. You can buy you can find weapons or you can buy weapons and stuff like that you know but it's really cool. I like it. There's two more after it, so I might go Far Cry 6 and then the new one, um, which kind of spoiled the ending for this one, but I want to see if it's actual, because the new one is about a new group coming into Hope County, and it looks like you have to ask the father of the Far Cry 5 for help, which is
No
weird.
question.
So the other thing
Not.
that's got me geeked, it ties in with sports later on. So very quickly, beginning of the month, huge trade in the NBA. My favorite player going to my favorite team. So, very excited about that. Uh, they won last night against the guy that came over. They went and played his former team, and they won by like 9. Very happy. So I don't know if Corbs was going to talk about it, so I'll let it
He
go.
was going to.
Huh?
He was going to.
All right, go ahead, because I didn't mention any names.
No,
So
no, I'll talk about it during the sports part.
yeah. So that's really what's got
Corbs.
me geeked. Oh, yeah, the other than that is um I've been having some issues with my foot. Um
Which one?
the only one I got.
Dumbass.
Um and so I went today and things are the same. So they're not getting better, but they're not getting worse. Um, I thought really thought, and I actually made myself sick this morning about it, like physical vomiting this morning, going to the doctor, and I don't have to go to the hospital. Uh,
Good.
I get to keep my leg, um, and I'll be at the table on Wednesday.
Better be.
Yep. Well, that was my one of the things I was nervous about. Like, I'm the one that's bitching the most about not playing, and all of a sudden I'm not going to be able to be there. Bullshit,
That's okay, DC. We'll take off Paul's leg and give it to you.
you
You
know.
wouldn't want mine. Mine's probably the next one to go.
So that's what's got me geeked. Oh yeah, last thing is that my son plays men's league hockey, and he last year he scored a lot of goals in his league, and this year he hasn't scored a single goal all year.
Not true.
Probably 15 games or whatever like that. And so he finally scored on Sunday.
Nice.
Nice.
Yeah, so he's hoping that the floodgates now open now that he's seen one go in. They did lose, but he was happy that he freaking called me right after. He was pulling in the parking space up in Oswego and was like, I scored. I'm like, holy shit, what? He's like, yep, I scored finally. So he was happy. I was happy, you know. So hopefully he'll be on a roll now. So
Outstanding.
that's it for me.
Hey, can I ask that question now that you ignored?
What did I ignore?
Questions for you.
He had a question for you a while ago, bro.
Far Cry 5, the cult. Is
Yeah,
that by any chance based on Westboro Baptist Church?
I want to say yes, but
Because the way you described it, it sounded like it.
yeah, I mean you know how it is when you have they can't say that it's based off of anything real.
Yeah.
You know how it goes, but it sounds like it.
Okay, cool.
Um,
Just
there's
curious.
no like at first I thought, when I first saw it originally because I didn't know about the three different regions, I thought Waco,
Yeah.
but no, it's not like that. Um,
I hate that fucking game.
what, Far Cry?
Far Cry 5.
Oh,
All the other Far Cries are in like exotic locations. That one looks like it's set in fucking Altmar. It felt
Oh,
like I
that's
was
the
playing,
one. Okay.
yeah, a Far Cry game where I grew up. I'm just like, this is boring. I'm not enjoying this.
and for I
Look,
mean,
more trees.
yeah, yeah. For me, it's kind of cool because I can just like every once in a while uh I'll go to one of the places that I've liberated and I'll go to the shop and I'll switch all my guns out and put my bow and arrow on and then I'll just walk around the woods and hunt and all that kind of stuff and get skins because they you can sell them and they that way you can get more money. So then um but the next one, Far Cry 6, is a you're in a revolution
Yeah.
someplace in South America.
You're playing on Xbox, right?
Yeah.
Oh, I have it for PS4 or 5, whatever it came out, but I can't lend it to you if you don't have a
Yeah.
PlayStation.
Yeah, I get it for nothing, and I get
Oh,
the new one for nothing too. So I was
Nice.
happy about that. But yeah, it's just one of those ones that's just interesting. I play it, and when I play it, and then I get frustrated because I die. And I was telling Sean I was in this one section where um I'm running around in this circle room, flipping these switches, and then it says, "Throw your grappling hook up and link up to the helicopter, and we'll pull you out." I'm running around, guys are shooting at me and all this other kind of shit. Bombs are going off. And I'm like, how the fuck do I get out of this place? It's a fucking circle. But in the middle, there's an opening. So I'm running back and forth, trying not to get killed while killing everybody else. And I run and I just kind of, I don't know, my thumb or whatever turns, there's a fucking ladder. I've been
Outstanding.
running around in this room for 5 minutes, literally 5 minutes of actual time. And I just climb up the ladder and then goes to the cutscene and it's all over. But I'm in there. There must have been 20 or 30 bodies laying around in there. I was just doing work. If my gun ran out of bullets, I didn't have any more bullets, I just picked one up off the ground and just kept running around and killing and trying to figure out where I was supposed to go. But yeah, I like it. So we'll see. I might go again right to 6 when I'm done and then go to the new one. It's just a series that I'm enjoying. So
Good.
Ooh, juicy.
Like,
Corbs. What you
that's
got,
me.
buddy?
Well, I had a bunch of stuff last week, but I don't remember it all now. I guess I'll go with simple stuff. Simple thing. Just had a good time with bowling with my son the last 2 months. Um, just something for him and I to do. We had it's a three man team, so it was a guy that I work with, and my son and I. We bowled the last 2 months. Tonight was the last night, so um, our team didn't do that well. We finished second to last. But it was fun. I mean, it was good. Something my son and I got to do together before he went away to school. So that was nice. I mean, not that he's going far away to school. He's not going like cross country or whatever. Um, his goal is to go to OCC for at least a year, probably two, to get all of his core classes out of the way. So if they want to do it again in the fall, because we talked about doing another session, and I did mention that it had to be a different fucking night. Um, so we'll see how that goes. But they're not going to do one in the spring or the summer because a lot of people camp in and stuff like that. So, um,
Play
yeah, so
Dungeons and Dragons.
we'll have that too.
Record
But
podcasts.
well, I mean, we do that anyways, and I make it home in time for that.
Ish.
I like how Corbs is going and Paul's like, ish, with Dungeon Drag. He's like very
Oh,
somber
is
about
this what being on time is? I've been doing it wrong my entire life.
it. Well, after Labor Day, Corbs, they're going to do Wednesday nights.
That's probably true. Um,
Sorry, go on.
but yeah, so it was fun. So, like I said, tonight was the last night. So my goal for 8 weeks was to try to get to a 500 series, which is bowl 3 games that equal 500. And tonight I missed it by 15 pins.
Missed
As
it.
close as I've come. Closest I've come was was tonight was 15 pins. I could have still have done it if I had gotten. I needed two strikes in the 10th frame, two strikes and two pins. Then I would have had what I had, and yeah, it didn't happen. But it was like I said, it was a good time. Bryce and I had fun. It's the first time he's ever bowled really in a league. Like he tried out for bowling a couple years ago, and he kind of got hooked, but he didn't want to go back and bowl after.
Hmm.
Um, but so we kind of go every once in a while bowling, but he really enjoyed it. I think I mentioned to him about maybe trying to find another league, just him and I or something like on a Saturday morning type of thing. So we'll see how that goes. But it was a good time. We had fun, and that's what really was important to me was getting a chance to spend a night with him. I do a lot of stuff outside of the house. As you guys know, Tuesday nights I play cornhole. Thursday nights we have date night, so I get to see my girlfriend at least once a week, twice because we play cornhole together. And then Friday nights we do this plus we play D&D one Thursdays, so or at least we try to, I should say. So that's kind of what's got me geeked was the last 2 months was just really, really special to me just to be able to spend some time with him. So, and the other thing is I am looking forward to next Wednesday and getting back to the table and killing people. So
Or getting killed. It's,
You know,
one of the two, one of the
that
two.
might be
I
that
got
might
that
be
feeling that
in
might be
order.
what's coming. So,
Yeah.
All right. Well, mine is twofold. First, I'm going to start with Syracuse Collectors Con. They made their final two announcements. We talked about it off mic of their final two guest announcements, and they're pretty cool. Um, Amy Dumas, Lita from the WWE, is going to be there on Saturday only. I'm super psyched for that. I was a huge Lita fan. She might have been my like 90s WWE crush. Shocking,
agreed.
right? Tattooed redhead. Um, and on Sunday only is going to be Kelly Kelly.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
so it's going to be good times. Looking forward to it. That's a huge stacked card of guests, not just the wrestling guests, but overall. There's a ton of cool guests. It sounds like it's going to be a really fun show. We'll be there. I believe we're going to try and set up one of our two tables because they hook us up really well there. For Tales from the Keep, we're going to have a full D&D set up there with all sorts of cool stuff. Jack, we've got some really cool stuff planned
So,
for while we're there. I'm excited about it. We're gonna have a good time. We're gonna do more than just sit on our asses in front of the table and eat Reese's peanut butter cups.
I
Um,
ate that whole bag last
Wait, I
year.
thought our whole game plan at cons is to leave Jack at the table and walk around.
there's that
You're not
too.
gonna leave.
There will
Yeah,
be
that's not gonna
plenty
happen
of
this
time for
year.
that. Yes, we will.
I'm busy this time around.
But we have some cool shit planned. We'll let you in on
Ugh,
it. Again, there were planning sessions while you were not at Misfit Toy Christmas.
ugh.
So we're
I
we're
need
gonna
an
have some good
adult.
times. Yeah. Jack is going to need adult supervision. Um,
Clearly.
Fuck that. I don't care if he gets arrested.
Oh, I won't get arrested.
Oh no, we have other plans. But you need to come to the show to find out. So, and secondly, and more importantly, my other what's got me geeked is having my kid back. Um, it's been all over Facebook at this point because all of our listeners are friends with me on Facebook. So, but I mean, if we're gonna talk about it, I might as well throw it into a WTF file, right, guys?
Oh
Yeah.
God.
All right, hit the music. Okay. So, if you don't know, Madison, my special kid to begin with, she came down with the flu, and she was getting better with the flu, and then all of a sudden, she went to bed one night, and the next morning, Crazy Betty woke up. Crazy Betty is what we're calling her dissociative personality that we got. This kid was the complete opposite of the kid you guys all know. She was not the sweet, like, kind little kid we knew. It started with her birthday party. That's where we're gonna go with it. They're all sitting at the kitchen table, her and her friend's little brother. They were making like Taylor Swift friendship bracelets and shit. And she just turns to her friend Austin and goes, "Austin, you're gay." And we all stop, and he's not. He's not. He's a
Where
nice
she gets
kid.
that from?
Right? And we all just stop. We're like, what the fuck was that? Like, what? And so it progresses, and she's in laying on the couch because she's still not feeling great. She's laying there playing with the new Barbie doll she's got. Her 6-year-old cousin comes in, says, "Madison, where did you get the new Barbies?" She looks at her and goes, "None of your business." And then swings at her, like takes a kick at her. And I come in, I'm like, what's going on? And she looks me in the face and says, "I'm not dealing with her today." So we're like, okay. This progresses for a couple of days and she's doing weird shit. And finally we take her to the doctor and the pediatrician sees her and she looks him in the face and says, "Hey, big boy." Apparently throughout the entire um office visit, she kept calling him big boy exclusively. He decided he was gonna prescribe anti-psych medication. Uh, we were like, that's not gonna happen. So we got a hold of her neuro. Neuro wanted him to come down the next day. She ended up admitted in the hospital in Rochester so we could get all the testing done and everything. All the testing came back clear. How was it? 5 days down there?
Yeah, both.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. Throughout snowstorms and all the other good shit, good times. The Strong Memorial, the Golisano Strong for the kids,
Yep.
phenomenal hospital. They did some really cool shit for her. They had pet therapy one day. They brought basically Lassie in to hang out with Madison.
Yeah, I
Oh,
saw
I'm
that. I
sorry.
did see that on Facebook.
Yeah, I'm sorry, not Madison, Betty. She was still Betty at that point. Um, that I can't even take credit for that one. That was Kristen. That's what she said is Madison went to bed one night and Betty got up the next day and Betty's a mouthy bitch.
Betty the mouthy bitch thing.
Yes. But some of the other classics we got out of her was she told me she was pregnant and she was in labor while she was sitting, watching Elementals or something. Um, she invited Kristen to lay with her in the bed. 3 minutes later, she told her to get the fuck out of the bed. Her quote, exactly. Um, I'm trying to come up with all the other ones because we got a lot of really good ones. My personal favorite was when we were discharged from the hospital. We're walking to the Bronco, and she goes, "Daddy, I'm sorry I'm like this." And I'm like, "Oh, like what, honey?" She looks at me and goes, "A douchebag."
Damn.
She was wild. The crazy shit that came out of her mouth. My mom rode down to Rochester with me on Valentine's Day to bring her a bunch of gifts and see her for a minute. She thanked her for the gifts and everything, was playing with the new elephant and all the stuff she got, then looks me dead in the face and goes, "When can Grammy leave?" And my mom's just like, and I'm like, you can't like take offense to any of this. Like, this is a crazy person talking right now. Like, she had an EEG and the tech is removing the stuff out of her hair. And she just blurts out, "I like blood." Um, she told Kristen she hated her. Then she told her she loved her. Told her she was dropping out of school. Uh, I believe one time she told Kelly she was gonna stab her. Told me we were jumping out the window. We were on the 6th floor of the hospital. It was all sorts of good times. They let her come home, still acting that way. 2 days later, the day before her birthday, she all of a sudden gets up and Madison's back. So we're all back to normal. She's happy as can be. Doesn't remember half of the stuff. Oh, I forgot. Driving her home that day, I was assaulted. Yeah. we're listening to music and she's getting all excited and she just whirls around on me and just cracks me one on the arm as I'm driving down the road. Like just straight bitch slaps me. I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you? So though that was my that was a week and a half, 2 weeks of good times for me. But that's I felt I needed to address that on Mike because it's just so fucking crazy. And they all think it was just due to the flu. Like something got into her fucking brain and made her fucking crazy.
So when you act like a douche, we have to be like, oh, just ignore it the whole time if somebody asks.
No, if I act like a dick, will you guys just call me Crazy Betty?
No one call you crazy.
No,
like
he can't
Damien
call you crazy,
shit.
but you can't call you crazy,
Yeah.
Betty. That's her name.
That's
Yeah.
her.
It's like a Damien shit, but yeah.
Douchebag Daryl will call you.
I know,
Douchebag
when
Daryl.
Paul's
I
a
like that.
douchebag, I just call him Paul.
Right. It's just Wednesday. I mean,
Yeah, it's your typical Wednesday night. Ugh.
So I guess the main question with that whole thing is, and you probably don't even know this yet. Is that going to happen again when she gets?
oh Jesus, I hope not.
Every time she gets sick, are you gonna have to go through this?
Right.
now?
I hope not. I hope this isn't a thing.
Because if that be the
Um,
case, I'm gonna start buying you. So I'm gonna buy you like a lacrosse helmet, some pads.
I'll just get suited up. Like, all right, here we go.
We'll wake up to a WhatsApp in the morning, like Crazy Betty's back.
Yeah.
I would
black eye.
suggest you don't let her take martial arts.
No, absolutely not.
Oh, wait till she goes through the teenage phase. That Crazy Betty, that's not good. No, yeah, I'm sorry, you're gonna be balder than bald.
I mean, we're getting there.
Oh, we're gonna be there fully.
Well, all right, though. I think on that note, I think it's time to kick it to break, and we'll come back with the news. Stick with us, guys.
Talking to the stranger with the skeleton flute was his first mistake. Playing it was his second. Be careful what you wish for never meant anything to 12-year-old Sam until the night he blows into the skeleton flute and wishes for his parents to stay together. The stranger promised Sam his greatest desire, but the morning after the low, warbling note came out of the glowing flute, Sam's life has been turned upside down. His brother and sister don't exist, and his best friend doesn't know him. His parents are together and happy, but is it worth sacrificing everyone else he loves? Caught in a web of unintended consequences, Sam must try to get his old life back, despite the challenges that wait for him if he succeeds. And that means uncovering the mystery behind the strange man's identity and the skeleton flute. The Skeleton Flute hits shelves on August 27th. You can pre-order your copy now on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, your local indie, and most major book retailers.
Now, before you rub your eyes, not believing what you're seeing like a very sad Rip Van Winkle emoji, yes, the guy in charge of our nation's health makes common sense decisions like dumping roadkill in Central Park. And heroin. The woman in charge of education once pretend punched her husband in the nuts at WrestleMania 17. And apparently running a podcast qualifies you to be deputy FBI director. I've seen every episode of The X-Files twice. Does that mean I'm 300% more qualified for a high-level position there? Yes, this is real life. But don't fret, because here's the news. First up, Jeff Bezos in Goldfinger. It was announced this week, to no joy at all, that Amazon now has creative control over the James Bond franchise. Previous stewards of the IP, Barbara Broccoli and her half-brother Michael Wilson, retain partial ownership, but all creative decisions are now in the hands of Amazon. This means they can begin milking the franchise for all it's worth before running it directly into the ground. And while there is a chance that they'll take care and pride with it, it's only a matter of time before I have an echo wake word of Moneypenny. Actually, that would be kind of fucking cool. Okay, Amazon, you can rape the 60-year legacy property as long as I can call Alexa Moneypenny instead. Moneypenny, add martinis to the shopping list. Next up, I think we skipped a few. Into every generation, a Slayer is born, except the last one, because it's been over 20 years since Buffy the Vampire Slayer graced our screens. But the long, dark night of the lack of a soul is finally over. It's been announced that Hulu is prepared to order a revival of the series that will see Sarah Michelle Gellar reprise her role as Buffy Summers. The show was on every top list for most influential TV shows of all time, from the female-focused narrative to changing the way young people and just people in general talked in media. It was the first time we had young characters speaking the same way young people did in real life. I would wager the impact of that is felt even in how dialogue is written today. For me, at least, it was the first time characters in a TV show sounded like everyone I knew in real life. The creator may have turned out to be a dirtbag, but even a bad person can have a good idea once in a while, like a guy in his 40s saying, I can do a podcast, but with epically drastic results instead. This amazing news is diluted by the fact that Michelle Trachtenberg, who played Buffy's sister Dawn, died this morning. And finally, I'd settle for a night of enough cashiers to get through the line in less than 30 minutes. It's been reported that Walmart has purchased the iconic Monroeville Mall in Pennsylvania. The mall was featured in the classic zombie movie Dawn of the Dead and still hosts annual events every year to memorialize the godfather of the zombie genre, George Romero. The current plans are reported to be to convert the mall into a retail and entertainment space. I'm sure they'll have an actual Walmart on the retail side. This kind of makes sense to me, as it's often hard to tell the difference between a traditional slow zombie and a Walmart employee anyway. I mean, who knew every zombie smelled like marijuana? This was not clear in the original film, but it explains why their skin was green in the colorized versions. I would not be shocked if new visitors mistake the Walmart side for the Living Dead Museum on a daily basis. And that's the news, kids. Now, remember, before you put away your condiments after sucking down a foot-long wiener on the big game day, Heinz officially came out and said ketchup should be kept in the refrigerator after opening. The debate is over. You fucking weird cupboard ketchup psychopaths can fuck off. Paul?
In other news, did you hear about the kidnapping at school? It's okay. He woke up. Jack.
Real quick, though, what Hugh just said, I do want to touch on that one more time, real quick. Michelle Trachtenberg, 39 years old, in memoriam, really sad. I remember her from Euro Trip and Harriet the Spy when I was a kid. So she got a liver transplant, I guess, a year ago. I don't know. They didn't say cause of death yet, but probably due to that. All right, back to the good stuff. Boom! Pow! What? All right, I'm very excited. This should have been what had me geek this week. Super Bowl 59, motherfucker! I am so excited. The Philadelphia Eagles beat the Kansas City Chiefs 40-22. It was a great Super Bowl. The Philadelphia Eagles were just stellar all game long. The Chiefs were trying to go for 3 straight Super Bowls. That didn't happen. The Eagles did not blitz one time during that game. They just had their 4 defensive linemen rattle Patrick Mahomes the whole game, which is amazing. Jalen Hurts, for 2 straight years, because they lost Super Bowl 57, I know DC and Corbs know this, but he had as his phone background walking off the field in Super Bowl 57, losing to the Kansas City Chiefs. He uses that as redemption, which was amazing, and just, it's just so amazing. Watching that Super Bowl, 7-0, 10-0, 17-0, 24-0. It was just amazing, the whole game. But now the Eagles are 2-3 in Super Bowls. Believe it or not, Super Bowl 15, they lost to the Oakland Raiders.
Yep.
And Super Bowl 39 in 2005, they lost to the New England Patriots. And then Super Bowl 52, they beat the New England Patriots. Then Super Bowl 57, they lost to the Kansas City Chiefs. And then they won Super Bowl 59 against the Kansas City Chiefs. It's pretty impressive because they had the parade. Over 1 million people were down at that parade. I really wanted to go, but I was working that day. But Howie Roseman, the Eagles general manager, somebody literally threw a Bud Light onto the Eagles bus. he cut his forehead wide open, and he literally was giving his speech. He was like, "I bleed for this city." I was like, "That's fucking amazing." So also what made me excited too, my mom was saying, "Your fans are a bunch of assholes." I'm like, "I love when you say that. That's amazing. I just love hearing that." But Coach Nick Sirianni also has a great quote, and I really like this quote. "You cannot be great without the greatness of others." So I really enjoyed watching this Super Bowl. Hopefully this next year they get back to the big game, but two t-shirts later, $80 and maybe a plaque on the way for $150 I might be spending. So yeah, I'm pretty excited about the Super Bowl. Back to you, Corbs.
Well, I guess I can't talk about Super Bowl anymore.
Thanks, Jack.
Jack pretty much covered Super Bowl.
Welcome.
All right, Jack, I'm gonna ask you this question.
So
All right, so you watched the whole game, obviously.
twice.
All right, I'm gonna ask you this question. Do you honestly, and I want your honest opinion, do you think Jalen Hurts deserved to win the MVP?
If Saquon Barkley ran for 100 yards, Saquon was the MVP. Yes.
You don't think the guys on the defense, that defensive line should have, somebody in those guys should have won that MVP?
If Milton Williams or Josh Sweat had maybe more than 2 sacks, then yes, I would give that to you. But there was no player that had like 4 or more sacks or forced fumbles or interceptions. And technically, yeah, Jalen Hurts balled out. He had the rushing touchdown, 2 passing touchdowns, and yeah, I would say yes. Honestly, he does win the MVP that game. Who do
I,
you think wins the MVP?
I got to go with somebody on the defense, man. I didn't watch the whole game. I didn't watch the whole game. I'll tell you that right now
Okay.
because I had no interest in the game this year. I really didn't. I didn't give a shit about the Chiefs. The only reason I watched it, Jack, was because of the Eagles. And
And yeah,
I only watched the second and third quarter.
yeah.
But that defense balled out. They were flying all over the field. And like you said, they didn't blitz. They got pressure with four guys on the front line. They sacked Patrick Mahomes, I think it was 7 times, 8 times.
6 or 7, yeah, or
Yeah.
8 times, yeah, something like
Yeah.
that,
I
yeah.
mean, the front four went absolutely crazy. Dijon had a pick return for is it Dijon the returner for the touchdown?
Cooper DeJean for a pick
Yeah.
six.
Pick
Yep.
six. So I mean that defense, I think the defense alone should have won the MVP.
If a player had two
Right,
or
but
more sacks, but yeah, it's
you
tough.
got to
I
give it
know.
to you got to give it to a player. I get that part of it, but I mean, like I said, I watched the second and third quarters, and that defense was just they were all over the field, and they were. I mean, Brady was commenting about it. Patrick Holmes was, he couldn't even get set up. He was too scared after a while. Like he would drop back and plant his feet, and then he would be running around in the pocket when the pocket hadn't even started collapsing yet. He had no confidence in his offensive line, which was great to see because I hate Patrick Mahomes. I mean, I don't like him. I don't know, there's something about him I don't like. I mean, I know why my brother doesn't like him. I know why Paul doesn't like him. I know why Hugh don't know why Hugh raised his hand, but we'll ask a question. Go for it.
These football players have more than one sack. Steroids are
Yeah.
fucking weird, man.
But yeah, like the game did start though with that AJ Brown pass interference. I'm like, here we go, the ticky tacky shit. I was like freaking out with that. But to turn it back to you, Corbs, I wouldn't have minded if the defense won the MVP, but
Right,
a defense can't win an MVP,
right.
unfortunately.
No, I understand that. I mean, and Jalen Hurts, I mean, he did ball out. I mean, that pass he dropped to was it Devontae Smith.
Yeah. Hmm.
I mean, he dropped it right in the basket. He had to
Yep.
put it right there, and he put it right where he needed to put it. And I remember watching, they were talking about, oh, they're just going to run the ball now. They're going to run the ball down. And he dropped back and he just let it go. And they're like, what the hell are they doing? And they're like, okay. So I guess we're not going to just run out the clock here.
The Chiefs' run defense was stellar the whole game. I think Saquon only had only like 58 or 65 yards the whole game.
Right. So,
Like,
I mean, again, glad the Eagles won. I did not want to see the Chiefs win three in a row. Um, like I said, I just really didn't have any desire to watch the game. I didn't watch any of the pregame. I didn't watch anything for the Super Bowl.
the
I
halftime
literally,
show was awful, so you didn't miss
yes,
anything.
yeah, people said the same. People have said the same thing. It was horrible. I literally,
But that tennis chick crip walked. Come on.
Yeah, Serena Williams was in the.
That's her name.
Yeah, yeah, I know she was in it. I didn't even know that. I think I was
Who's
on a
that?
beer, getting another beer. I was like, I really don't want to watch this.
It panned across, and I'm like, wait a minute, do I know her?
Really? Yeah.
That was
Yeah.
they
So
called out pedophiles, right?
is that
I
what it
don't
was?
know, and I don't care. I really just
Yeah.
don't give a shit about that halftime show.
So yeah, but again, congratulations to the Eagles on winning. That's fantastic. I'm glad they won, and I'm glad they slapped the shit out of them too.
It was amazing. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I know Danny touched on it a little bit earlier. Big trade in the NBA that nobody really saw coming.
I saw it coming.
You
Yeah.
you can't
Who are
see
the
anything that
players there,
far in front
champ?
of your. You have no idea what I'm talking about, you douchebag.
You can't do
Can't
the you
see.
can't see me shit.
All right, so the Lakers traded for probably, I would say probably the best player in the NBA. They traded to the They traded one of their best players, Anthony Davis from the Lakers, to the Dallas Mavericks for Luka Doncic. Now, if you guys don't know who Luka Doncic is, I know Danny does, obviously. I know Jack knows who he is. I don't know if Paul does. Paul doesn't follow basketball that much. I know Hugh doesn't because he doesn't follow sports. Luka is probably hands down the best overall player. Danny will agree with that. I know that. He passes, he shoots, he's got
Rebounds.
he's got unlimited, really got unlimited range.
Yeah. And he's 25.
Rebounds,
He's 25 years old.
yeah, and he's 25 and he's 25 years old. He's not even in the prime of his career yet. He's just getting to the prime of his career. Um, they were what, one win away from no, they got swept last year, didn't they, Dan?
Yeah, they got swept by Denver
Okay. In the in the
in the Western Conference Finals.
but okay. So, but Luka's just he's amazing. And to be traded to the Lakers to play with LeBron James, that's probably one of the best moves the Lakers have made since picking up Kareem in a trade.
Yeah,
So
1974.
yeah, so and the Lakers, I think they've won like two or three straight since he's been there. I don't even know. I don't follow basketball that much. That would be something my brother would definitely let you know.
Yeah, they've won 13 to 16, but they've won three in a row.
With Luka,
With Luka. Um, Last night he didn't shoot the ball well, but he had triple double. He had 19, 15, and 12.
right?
Um,
I mean, he's a triple double machine. He
yeah,
probably close to averaging a triple double. So that's at least 10 points a game, 10 rebounds a game, 10 assists a game. So in like I said, there's only been two guys that have ever averaged a triple double in for the year. So he's close to it. I mean, I don't think he's there um, in some of the spots, but he's close enough. He's pretty much like a 10-9-9 type of guy. So, but like I said, it's a trade that nobody saw coming. It was something that was kind of put in place or started in place a month before. I think it was they were Mark Cuban and oh, what the fuck's his name?
it was
Oh,
Nico Harrison and Rob Pelinka
Rob
are
Pelinka. That's what I was thinking.
friends
Yeah,
because Rob Pelinka was Kobe Bryant's agent and
yeah.
Nico Harrison was Kobe's representative at Nike before he became the Mavericks general manager.
So yeah, so they were talking, and Nico made a comment like, "Hey, do you want do you want Luka, or what can you give me for Luka?" type of thing, and that's how it all started. And it was something that kind of came together rather quickly. And next, you know, it was breaking news on SportsCenter that he'd been traded, and everybody was kind of flipping their shit.
Why would you trade a player that good?
Well,
Go to it.
the rumor is that um, Luka is 6'8", and apparently they say he weighs 260 pounds. And that's LeBron James, whatever. But Luka is a guard, James is a forward. So they wanted Luka to play at 2:30, and he just has never gotten there. And he was up for what they call a supermax contract, which puts it at like 5 years at like $400 million. So they didn't feel that because he will never make his weight that it's worth him at 5 years for $400 million. So by trading him to the Lakers, he's not eligible for that supermax contract. So it basically saved Dallas that 400 million, but it also saves the Lakers $120 million to sign him going forward because you can't be eligible the year before, the year of, and possibly the year after you've been traded. So they just said he was fat and lazy. That's basically what they said. Now, they're not going to come out and say that. Um, Even Luka, when he had his opening press conference for the Lakers, wouldn't say anything about management. He just kept saying, couldn't believe it, new adjustment. But apparently last night during the game, he made a couple of spectacular plays, which is par for the course, and he would just stare down the bench, the coaches, and management that was there, which I thought was awesome. But yeah, basically you're fat and lazy, so we're going to trade you. And what they said was, it started over a cup of coffee. What will you get? What do you think Luka's worth? What would you give for Luka? And immediately Rob Pelinka calls the owner of the Lakers because she has to approve everything because she's the one doling out all the money. Um, and they started talking and, a little bit here, a little bit there, and then boom, all of a sudden, Saturday, February 2nd, I think it was, at midnight, so maybe the 3rd. All of a sudden, I get a phone call from my son who's basically screaming on the other end of the phone that we got Luka because he's a Laker fan too. Um, and I had to look at it on ESPN, and ESPN it had just popped up as I put in there that he was traded. So, um, I'm ecstatic. He's my favorite player, even though he wasn't playing for the Lakers at the time. Um, kind of he reminds me of Magic Johnson, my favorite player of all time, who was a Laker. So that's why I was ecstatic. It sucks that we gave up Anthony Davis, but he's out for another month at least or more. So I'm glad that we got Luka.
Yeah. It was the second, by the way. I just checked.
Yep.
So yes, that's the big news in sports right now. And then obviously for me, pitchers and catchers report. So I got another 8 months of living hell with the
I
White
was
Sox.
I was okay. That was the other thing for me. I'm not a baseball fan. I don't like baseball. Um I am a New York fan, but I'm not a Yankee fan. I do not like the Yankees. I like the Mets. And our big acquisition for the Mets in the offseason, Juan Soto, 15 years, $750 million. He homered in his first at bat in the spring training. So,
Yeah, he's gonna do well with the Mets.
yeah.
He did well there. Yeah, I was looking at some of the roster for the White Sox, and I was looking. I'm like, I got no. It's like it's literally, and Danny will get this reference. It's like looking at the roster for the Major League, going, who are these fucking guys?
Yeah.
That's what it's like looking at the White Sox roster this year. I couldn't tell you any one of the pitchers are on that team. I know maybe half dozen to a dozen of the players on the team in general. So it's going to be it was a rough year last year when you break the record for the most losses in a season and you have a chance of breaking that record again the next year.
So what you're saying is your team sets records. That's a positive thing.
They set records in sucking.
Corbs, even though I don't follow baseball anymore, do you think it's a fair assessment that Juan Soto, is it Juan Soto? How do I say his name?
Juan Soto.
Yeah,
Juan
Juan
Soto.
Soto will have more home runs than the White Sox will have wins,
Oh, that's possible.
It's possible.
That's
right?
possible. It's very
Ugh,
possible.
yuck.
Yeah. Yeah, the White Sox won 30 games last year. There were players in the major leagues that hit more home runs than they had wins.
And there's still 162 games,
Yeah.
right?
They finished
Oh, that's ugly.
well, maybe they won 40 games. 100 and no, 120 losses last year. Let me make sure of that.
So they won 42 games.
Yeah, something. Hang on, I'll tell you.
There's
Give me
still
a minute.
dudes in the major leagues who had more homers than they had wins.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it wasn't pretty.
And the Athletics are still in Oakland. Or are they going to Vegas yet?
They're going to Vegas. Not yet. They're not going just yet, but they'll be there soon. I
Okay.
don't know how soon, but soon, soon. Where are we? So they tied the record for the longest losing streak of 14 games, and then proceeded to have a 21 game losing streak after that. Uh,
That's another record.
yeah, most losses. Where is it? Yeah, right. Doesn't even show you in there, fuckers.
Wow.
Right there.
Oh,
White Sox lost 121 games,
not
They
good.
won 41 games.
41 games last year. There were guys that hit more home runs than they had wins. Yep. My team blows dog.
Shit.
And it's going to be even rougher this year. It's going to go one of two ways. I'll tell you that right now. One of two ways. They're either going to win 100 games or they're going to lose every game. One of the two.
That doesn't sound plausible. They've got to win at least one.
Yeah, you would think. I'm
One
sure
in 161.
I would assume they'll win, a few games. I mean, because guys are going to be like, well, I can play, Jimmy in section 121. He'll come out and play. I think I probably could get 9 guys together and beat the White Sox.
Let's do it. We got 5 here.
That's right.
I'm out.
I think even Danny with one leg, we could beat them.
I can pitch.
I mean, Jimmy Abbott did with one arm and you just do it with one leg.
Right.
So, that's all I got. I got nothing else for sports.
All right. Well, let's keep it moving then. Right into the Wrestle Report.
Wrestling.
Wrestling.
Sweet. Wait, have we had a show since the Rumble?
I don't know. Probably not.
I don't think so.
I don't think we have. I don't think we had a show. We had a show before the
But
Rumble.
does the Rumble even matter now? Because Matt and Jeff Hardy are back in the WWE.
Why are you stealing my shit, dude?
Because
Damn,
it's
dude.
the only thing worth talking about.
And I actually watched it last night. I was so excited. I texted Corbs. I'm like, I'm watching NXT. And then 2.5 hours later, he texted me back.
I wasn't watching NXT. I was at Cornhole last night.
He was
I mean,
like,
I
I
texted you
watched it
back
just to
today.
see if Jeff was sober or not. And I was
I'm
like,
still
oh,
not
man.
sure.
Things don't change.
So no, like I was most excited to see the main event because I'm a big mark for Ethan Page and Ricky Saints now. But
Thanks. Jesus.
I,
Okay, I gotta ask. I didn't see it. How did he look?
he looked good. He
Did
looked
he?
good. It was Hugh, you watched it last night, or did you just watch the Hardy
I
Boys?
just watched the Hardy Boys.
I mean, I sat down because like I said, Kristen and Madison were in Atlanta for the night. So I'm like, cool, I don't have to listen to bullshit. I can actually watch another night of wrestling. So I sat down and I watched NXT start to finish, and I'm like, who the fuck are these people? And like I said, Corbs isn't responding to text messages, so he can't tell me.
Yeah,
Um,
sorry about that.
but it was a cool show. I mean, half of NXT now is TNA. So
Yeah,
um and I mean that it seems like they're all setting up for a show in Madison Square Garden in 2 weeks.
yeah, that's What the fuck is that?
Roadblock.
Revolution?
Is it?
Roadblock.
Roadblock.
The Roadblock, yeah.
I thought he was the guy from G.I. Joe.
He is also the guy from G.I. Joe. He hosts a wrestling pay-per-view at Madison Square Garden every once
He'll
in a
be
while.
out there.
G.I. Joe.
Don't you disparage G.I. Joe on my show, goddammit.
I just hear the theme song in my head. That's all.
Does he got the Kung Fu Rip?
Yeah.
I do. That's all I got.
That's a dude. Don't make that movement anymore.
I heard something crack.
That was not the right movement to make.
Or was it?
Fair point.
All
Well,
right.
okay, so you watched it. You watched
I
it.
did. I it wasn't bad. The main event was decent. It was definitely designed to spotlight Ricky Saints. I just can't get over it. And the whole excuse that they're using is because of Zoe Starks. So he can't be Ricky Starks. But aren't there also other ones that have the same last name now? Like it occurred to me.
Yeah, Matt and Jeff Hardy.
See?
Fair. Give you that. But there was another one I came up with last night while watching it, and I'm like, but wait a minute, and concussion brain gone. But anyway, so they're using the whole thing. He's from Louisiana, so the Saints and blah 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 blah. Force him to change his name. Anyway,
Yeah, but you change his name for Zoe Starks. I mean, she's still in the WWE.
Yeah, she is.
Because
she's
we had
on
a
she's on
long
Raw.
list. Is she?
She's on Raw
I
with
watch Raw. And
her and well, it was her, Shayna, and Sonya Deville. But
who got the boot?
She did get the boot.
No, she didn't get the boot. She didn't ask. She asked not to renew her contract.
So
but she gone though.
What I saw was that they were actively in negotiations, and then all of a sudden they were like, "Yeah, we're not doing this."
Nope. She said she didn't want to re-up. I saw where she said she didn't want to re-up. I think maybe there might have been some negotiation going on, and there might have been some, Vince shit going on.
Vince is still lurking in the shadows.
Wow.
So
yeah,
the newest rumblings I saw is Vince might be lurking around Fox.
No, Fox already came out this evening and said, they said that's bullshit. They said Vince McMahon might be going into wrestling business again, but not with us.
Not with us. I love it. Okay, good. Thank you. So okay, let me look. That checks off the Ricky Saints debut.
You're like so happy about it.
Well, I actually made notes. So
wow, he's actually looking at things.
That's what happens when you try to.
He can read.
Elimination Chambers this weekend.
Yeah.
March 1st for those of you watching whenever this comes out. And I'd like to go over predictions with you guys. What are you guys thinking for this? I wrote down what the matches and segments are.
So the men's is Logan Paul,
Cena, Punk, McIntyre, Logan Paul, Damian Priest, and Seth Rollins. The smart money is on Cena winning it.
Here's the thing. I can see that, but I almost wonder if it's a swerve because he's making a big deal about how it's his last Mania. He's always been a guy to work for the company, not for himself. Yep. I think you get more because here's the thing. It only makes sense for Cena to win the Elimination Chamber if he's going to win the title. I don't think he's going to win the title at WrestleMania. I think he will pick it up this year so he can get to the 17th run, but I don't think it's going to be at Mania because he's not the draw that he used to be. CM Punk, however, would be. And
Cena says he doesn't want to win it. He doesn't want to break the record.
But no, he changed his mind.
He came out recently and said he wants to break it.
After Rumble.
He said he wants to.
He said that's what's best for business,
and he wants to shake the hands that whoever gets 18 or something.
What's best for this particular business is for him to be coming close to the end of it and pull it off.
Mm-hmm.
I think that makes more sense because then, in fact, let him retire with the belt because
and then relinquish. Yes.
Yeah, and then they can They can have a whole tournament to see who's going to be crowned next year at the next WrestleMania. But that way, you also don't tarnish his retirement tour by having him drop the belt to somebody.
Agreed. That's a good call.
And I think I want to go into this fight like you said, like Cena is the logical one. I can see anybody winning this. I'm not going to make a prediction. I just want to enjoy the fight. But could it be also Logan Paul versus CM Punk at WrestleMania? That segment on Raw was pretty nice. Like where those two went at it for a little bit.
It
Like
could be.
that could be a nice WrestleMania fight.
Punk really wants to headline WrestleMania because he hasn't done that. That's a
Right.
big goal of his. And he doesn't know if he's going to get injured next week and be out for another 9 months. So I feel like he would at least be pushing to get check off that bucket list now while he's healthy.
Yeah, and honestly, he's what, 46? How many
Yeah.
more years does he have? Honestly,
Yeah.
and
Right.
I'm a huge mark for Punk. He's my guy.
I
love
also think they want to give. I mean, they're clearly pushing Drew again, but you have too much going on at the top of the card. You know what I'd like to see at WrestleMania? I'd love to see Drew McIntyre and Logan Paul. That would be a diametrically opposing styles, and that would probably be an incredible match.
absolutely, but it looks like they're gearing up to do.
Cena versus Cody.
That's what they're rumbling. That's what the rumors are right now. But no, it looks like they're doing Priest, McIntyre for WrestleMania, but no one seems to be happy about it.
Yeah,
I could
I
see
mean-
the Elimination Chamber being Seth and Cena at the end.
I would love to see it come down to that, but that's a little predictable.
And having Seth win it. Because if you think about it, Cena was number 2 at the Rumble. Right?
Yeah.
He came close. He comes close
Oh,
again
yes,
at
yes,
it comes
yeah.
close again at the Elimination Chamber. You know what I mean? And like
I
he
think
says,
we
he's
see
he's
Cena.
not the big draw that he was anymore. So maybe he doesn't need to headline WrestleMania. He wants to, but he doesn't need to. He's been the guy that's like Hugh says, he's a company guy. He does stuff that good for the company. Him being the last guy, the second to last guy again, is good for the company because it keeps people coming back.
that could be a recurring theme for his
Yeah.
retirement tour.
Right.
I also don't, you know what? I don't see Seth really doing anything. I just wonder if he's treading water so he can like get a quit when his contract's up and him and his wife can go do other things because he's still great, but there doesn't really seem to be a spot for him that doesn't push out a more logical, exciting, and money-making angle.
Do you see them also like what if CM Punk does win Elimination Chamber and then it is like what Hugh says, well, Logan Paul versus Drew McIntyre, and then Logan Paul screws over CM Punk at WrestleMania, and that starts that feud or something like that. Like that could be like the next big fight.
Well, they can
I
do
think
that
if you're going to
anyway.
push Cena, you're talking about his last match,
hmm
right, at WrestleMania. Why not have John Cena and CM Punk?
Because you can save that match for the
SummerSlam.
Ruthless Aggression pay-per-view next December. Didn't they say that? They were doing a
Yes.
special
It's
John
December.
Cena themed. Yeah, December, where they don't usually have a pay-per-view. They're doing a Cena themed pay-per-view, which will be
Okay.
his last appearance. That makes perfect sense to me.
Where's that pay-per-view going to be? Do we know?
Probably in Boston.
Boston
That'd
would be the place to do it,
Yeah.
That would be a fun pay-per-view to go to.
and everybody in jorts. Just saying.
I don't want to
Is-
see you in jorts, man.
You see it
Where's
all the
jorts?
time.
I know that's what I'm saying. What were you saying, Hugh?
Reigns isn't in the chamber, is he? Is Reigns in the chamber?
No, surprisingly.
Roman Reigns in jorts. That doesn't sound right either. Sorry.
Oh, I gotta write that down. No,
And then
which also leads me to believe that they've pivoted and now we're gonna get Rock Reigns at WrestleMania,
Yeah.
which I'm there for. I'm all about it. I think Cody's answer is gonna get interrupted at Elimination Chamber and Roman's coming out.
You mean SmackDown this week, or is
No,
it?
no.
It'll be at Chamber. You're right. You're right. It's at Chamber.
He's got to give him his answer at the chamber.
Okay.
So, and
Um, Go
What
ahead.
about
Hugh.
the women's chamber
Yeah,
match?
I was just thinking the same
Yes,
thing.
thank you for moving it along. So the women's elimination chamber match is Liv Morgan, Alexa Bliss, Bianca Belair, Bailey, Naomi, and Roxanne Perez.
I
So
mean, the easy money there is Alexa Bliss.
I agree with Alexa because I don't know if it was I don't know if it was Danny I was talking to about it, or if I mentioned it to Paul. I saw where Jade Cargill is ready to come back from her injury. So, and they've been talking about Liv and Raquel were the ones that are hurt or injured Jade. And I mentioned it to Paul. I know I mentioned it to Paul that it's not the two of them.
No,
It's not the two of them.
Absolutely
I
not.
think it's Naomi.
I think it's Naomi too.
I do too.
So if they're in the chamber and Jade comes back at the chamber and interferes with the two of them and causes one or the two of them to be eliminated, that sets up that whole fiasco with the three of them finding out that Naomi is the one that actually got hurt Jade. So I think that's where, and by them dropping the titles on Monday night, you play into that now. Because Jade can come back and be like, well, we didn't lose the titles, and this is the reason why we didn't lose the title. We didn't lose the title because I wasn't there because Naomi did this.
Yep, I
You could
agree.
turn her heel, and that could be a
Yep.
match at WrestleMania.
Yeah, you can set up a triple threat match there. Because I can see where Bianca can kind of
She's gonna
not
be
really.
conflicted.
Yeah, she's
They're
going to be
both her
conflicted
friends.
between the two
Yeah.
of them, and it's a triple threat match at WrestleMania between the three of them.
That'd be
And you know
cool.
what? That is a match where I will go pee and get snacks because I don't care about any of those three.
See, I like Jade Cargill.
Dude, why you gotta be racist like that?
Whoa.
It's me. It's
Wow.
But yes,
Oh, it's
like
their
these-
fault for being black?
no, it's their fault for being boring.
But the easy money, though, like Hugh said, it's on Alexa Bliss to win that
Yeah.
one for sure. To take your
I
pick
mean,
on
don't
that
get me
match.
wrong. I would
Absolutely.
love to see Roxanne Perez win it.
Yeah, I
She's
don't
getting a
know.
huge. She's getting a huge push
She is, and it's
from
bringing her to
from
the main roster now. That's what this is for, is to bring
yeah.
her to the main roster.
But
Right.
she's been on the main roster for like 2 seconds. She doesn't deserve a WrestleMania headlining match.
Agreed.
Agreed. I don't disagree with that. Alexa does. I think Liv does too.
I don't even know
But
if Alexa really does. I mean, like she's
She's
been
a
gone for
name.
how long?
But
She's just
they
she's
want
the
to
draw.
push her. If they want to push her back to the top,
right.
that's the best way to do it.
But
I
is
can
that what
see.
they're doing with her? Or are they going to drop her into the six?
I don't know why you can't do both. I don't know
Okay,
why those
that's
things are
also
mutually
fair. That's
exclusive.
also fair.
But I mean, she came back to a huge pop, and
Absolutely.
you're only going to drop her in a group that isn't even on TV right now.
Yeah. Also true.
And also process of elimination. You have the girl Roxy Perez. That's right, your name. She's just up and coming. She's not a big name yet. The other two are tag team champions. Those two are out. And then like you do the Jade Cargill versus Bianca versus Naomi at WrestleMania. She's out, so you're left with Alexa Bliss. Process of elimination.
Mhm.
And we don't want. I mean, is Liv? Are we going to do Liv and Rhea again? I mean, Liv is such
Right,
a
it's
great
been done.
heel. Yeah, she's such a great heel right now. They can definitely find someone for her to fight
Well,
with.
but they got the tag titles now, so they don't really.
Yeah. Oh
even-
yeah. There you go.
There you go. They don't have to be. They'll wrestle the tag titles. They'll keep the titles until WrestleMania,
Right.
and then they'll fight either, let's say Bianca and Jade and Naomi, whatever the case may be, type of thing. I can see that being a match at WrestleMania. The person we're not talking about is Bailey. I mean,
Oh yeah.
does yeah, I mean Bailey's in that match too. I mean, she's been in the Elimination Chamber before. She's been through it. I know most. I think Alexa's been through it too. I can't. To be honest, I couldn't remember. But I mean, does Bailey get another push, or does she? I mean, there's certain people that don't need the titles, don't need the push of the titles. Liv's one, Bailey's one. They don't need it. I mean, Charlotte even Charlotte doesn't need the belt to be successful.
Relevant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Liv doesn't need it. I don't even think Rhea needs it.
No.
These women don't need the belt to be relevant. They're relevant because, well, they're relevant because
relevant.
they're good. I mean, Paul and I talk about it every Monday night when I'm watching Raw. The women's division in the
On
WWE,
fire.
yeah, is hands down better than the men's
I would
division.
disagree that Rhea doesn't need the title, and it's not that she needs the title to for her to be pushed or for her to be big. She needs it because she needs to have a monster run with that thing.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
They they they
because
need
you're
to
not
pay
wrong.
off the buildup.
right, and they took it from her the last time she got hurt, and they
Yeah,
had
Yeah,
to take it from her. I think that's where you were going to see that big push she was going to have it Roman Reigns style,
yeah.
years,
yeah.
a year, 18 months type of thing. She didn't get that because she got hurt, so they had to take it from her. Now she's got it again. I think you're right.
Yep.
I think she's going
But
to
now
get
it's going
that.
to be different because she's doing it as a face.
Yeah,
Right.
As a
right.
face. Jesus Christ.
But
English
like
is
Rhea versus Alexa Bliss, two goth kind of characters would be kind of cool at WrestleMania. That would be interesting.
I see Alexa doing it on SmackDown and having her run there separately.
But that Charlotte Flair is doing against that Tiffy though, so
That's true.
yeah.
Because I
Oh, Charlotte
personally
Flair
don't
in
want
that
to see
plastic
Tiffy
sur
lose it.
I mean that's I don't know how I feel about that match.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that match either. I guess the
It's like the mom and daughter match.
Yeah, a little bit. And
I
that
mean
Charlotte Flair bad plastic surgery, put it away.
I mean you could do Rhea and Liv. I mean that's always a big draw, but Liv doesn't need to be in that match
And it's
anymore.
been done.
Yeah, they've
And
already
she
wrestled. What, two? Is it two times, three times?
At least.
Well, no,
she's
no,
already
for the title, for the title, I'm saying.
At least a couple.
and
So
Liv's been doing well for herself. A tag
yeah,
team champion, a world champion, the crown jewel champion. She's had
right,
a ton of titles
right. She's
lately.
she she's got her push. She's like Paul said, she's a fantastic heel. She's great as the bad girl. Um, and I think Rhea's great as a face. So that's the face heel type match that you would be looking for. You can't have a face and a face. That's why I don't see Bailey being there because Bailey is just is always popular.
Hmm.
And I think she's going to be doing a little bit more. She's been in NXT a couple of times, and she's been wrestling there a couple of times. And I know they go back and forth, and guys go there and whatever it might be type of thing. And I know she's there. She's trying to kind of help mold Roxanne Perez type of thing. So you could see the two of them maybe wrestle at WrestleMania as a mentor student type of thing.
I don't know.
You know,
You said you can't have a face and a face, and I don't think that's true. You absolutely can do that. I mean, look at Hogan and the versus the Warrior, one of the biggest
Hmm.
matches of all time. It has to be built right. It can't be just any face and any face.
right.
It has to be two people with huge fan followings. But I definitely think it can be done.
I would have liked to have seen Rhea and Charlotte go at it.
Well, I mean, we did. That's how
They
she won the
did.
Yeah.
belt the first time.
We've seen that.
That was a good fight.
But Rhea's in a different place now.
Right.
I think we're going to see it again. Just because I think it's a rubber match at this point, right?
Yeah,
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 one on
yeah, it
one.
would be.
So
What other fights we have at Elimination Chamber?
thanks, Jack. We've got the unsanctioned match, KO versus Sammy. It's basically gonna be a
Sammy.
street fight.
Right. It's a street fight. I see Sammy winning that one.
I don't. I think KO dominates on that one.
Do you think that he dominates so that they can go to WrestleMania and fight again?
Yes, absolutely.
You think
Ooh.
you think it's going to be one of those long, drawn out?
They need to because they don't really have anything else for the two of them to do. I
Okay.
mean, otherwise, what do we get? Are we gonna get Sammy hanging around the bloodline again?
No.
He doesn't really have anything. He's not gonna keep challenging for Gunther.
Right.
So, I mean, it gives them a program. They always put on lights out matches. Like the two of them know each other like the back of their hands. So,
Right.
You know,
So do you think, yeah.
we haven't even touched on one of the more interesting developments there. How do we feel about Jay winning the Rumble and going on to WrestleMania for the main event?
didn't see it happening.
Neither did I.
And I just I don't see them giving the title to Jay.
No, I don't either.
Mm-mm.
So, and I mean, again, it could be a swerve. It could be something we get to see, and it would be deserved. I mean, he's put the work in, but can he carry the biggest title on Raw?
And
You
you
know
see,
what? I bet he could because Gunther is quickly again becoming one of those people that doesn't need a title. I think you might see them go back and forth with it, but Jay's upward, I feel like his upward momentum would be hurt if he doesn't win at WrestleMania, whereas Gunther's momentum wouldn't
It
change.
won't matter. Yeah.
Yeah.
You might be right on that. We'll see. And then I think that's definitely a night one
The
main
night one
event.
Oh
match.
yeah.
Yeah.
then if you're saying if KO wins that fight, because I thought Sami Zayn would win that fight, it kind of reminds me of history repeating itself, like The Rock messing with Mankind. Maybe you'll see like KO mess with him, put his family on the Titantron to screw with his head some more or something like that. Because like they were talking about that like a little in his interview, so I can definitely see that happening.
Oh,
So, but
absolutely.
and then it was kind of weird on Raw because you said Jey Uso. I was like, am I seeing Austin Theory in a non-speaking role for a few minutes? Like he was not talking the whole time. I was like, what the hell's that about? All right, what else you got for fights? Oh,
Next
cool.
one up is a tag match for the women. Tiffy and Trish Stratus
Ooh.
versus Nia
Nia.
Jax. I always do it wrong. And Candice LeRae.
Trish is in her hometown, bro. It's hands down.
Yeah,
It's
Yeah,
her
huge
Trish.
over.
but if you look at recent history, when legends come back and do this shit in their hometowns, they usually lose. That's
Mm.
happened a lot recently. So I don't know. That's just something I've noticed that the match that we think is just to get the fans riled up, the person you expect to win doesn't. Like remember when the whole Lita came back and Trish and all that. I mean that last match there, or was it the first match? Okay, I don't even remember, so I probably shouldn't talk about it. But I think if we look back, we'll find that it hasn't been working out the way we expect it to. So I would not be surprised if she didn't win that match.
It's possible. It's definitely possible.
Well,
And
because
again,
you
it's
you
not.
want to build Nia Jax up if she's you want to build her up as a threat. She lost the title. If she's going to do a tag run, they need to build her up, and that's one way to do it. You know,
Yeah.
if Trish Stratus, who it was fantastic in her heyday and is still really good now, but she's retired. You know, if they beat Nia Jax, I mean that ends her momentum, or at least certainly
Also
puts
true. You're
put
right.
some brakes on it.
Right. And this doesn't affect Tiffy either way because
Yeah.
it's
I
a
mean,
tag
if
match.
Trish was coming back full time, then yeah, I'd say it's a different
Yeah,
story.
which
But
we
for
know
some,
she's not. Yeah.
yeah, she's coming back to do this match. I can't see them after pushing Nia Jax like they have. I can't see them doing that to her.
She's going to NickelCon in Buffalo, New York to photo op with Jack fucking Corbett.
That's why she's there. Yes.
Exactly. Yes. Everyone just got so silent. Like, I don't give a shit. I want that picture. But go ahead. Up to you
Dude,
now.
fucking creepy.
I don't
Right.
give a shit. I'm taking that
Fucking
picture.
stalker over here.
Uh-huh.
And finally, for Elimination Chamber, we have The Rock, the final boss, showing up to get his answer from Cody Rhodes to make him his corporate champion.
What the
Make him
fuck does
his
any of
champion,
that
his
even
champion.
mean? That
He wants his soul, Hugh. He
that was
wants
such
his fucking soul, man.
the acting was good, but the premise is stupid. Because we don't understand what it even means. And Cody looks like he's shaken to his soul. About fucking what?
I think it would have been better
So
if Rock would
mine.
have demanded Pharaoh. Just wanted to take his fucking dog.
I
Ouch.
just it just seems like the message got lost there. And I think in that segment, I mean, how's Cody going to answer him when we don't know what that actually means? Cody doesn't know what it actually means. I mean,
Right.
we can make inferences, but The Rock really is like, hey, you better answer my question, and I'll maybe tell you what it is someday. But you
It'll
have to
be
answer it by
aw-
next week.
it'll be awesome if Cody just comes out and is like, what are you talking about?
What?
Exactly. I missed you on that.
Now, my biggest takeaway from all of this is I definitely should have gotten tickets to Elimination Chamber.
You said you were gonna.
Yep. And then I was there and I was like, "Ugh, I can't spend the money.
And I should have got tickets for Buffalo, New York for Raw.
Easy, big boy.
We still can.
I know.
I was looking, trust me. But that's
Easy.
all I have for our Wrestle Report. Is there anything else we want to hit on before we throw this back to break?
Just the doctor.
The doctor. What?
Just hit on the doctor. Easy, big boy.
Oh, I got it now. Okay, nice.
Oh, and we're way away from it. I forgot. There was one more. We're sitting in the hospital. This is going back to some of the Bettyisms. Um,
Off
she
your rockers.
she looks at me and goes, "Daddy, you're handsome." I said, "Thanks, sweetheart." She looks at me and goes, "Hot stuff." I said, "Fucking stop now." Like,
Did she like pet you or like that hot
no,
stuff?
I wouldn't. I would have. But
They come in. My daughter's fine. She's fine.
choking her out. It's not right. It's okay.
Sergeant Slaughter will be proud of you.
Oh God. Oh, the Sarge. Anyway, all right. I think on that note, we're gonna throw it to break. We'll come back and wrap this thing up. What do you say, guys?
All good.
Folks.
All right, stick with us.
Talking to the stranger with the skeleton flute was his first mistake. Playing it was his second. Be careful what you wish for never meant anything to 12-year-old Sam until the night he blows into the skeleton flute and wishes for his parents to stay together. The stranger promised Sam his greatest desire, but the morning after the low, warbling note came out of the glowing flute, Sam's life has been turned upside down. His brother and sister don't exist, and his best friend doesn't know him. His parents are together and happy, but is it worth sacrificing everyone else he loves? Caught in a web of unintended consequences, Sam must try to get his old life back, despite the challenges that wait for him if he succeeds. And that means uncovering the mystery behind the strange man's identity and the skeleton flute. The Skeleton Flute hits shelves on August 27th. You can pre-order your copy now on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, your local indie, and most major book retailers.
Guys, what are you watching?
Well, I am currently watching something on I think it's Discovery. That's where we watch it on the Discovery app. Baylen Out Loud. I don't know if you've
Oh,
heard
Yeah,
of that.
I've seen commercials for
Yes.
it.
Well, of course we watch it because my daughter has Tourette's, so it's nice for her to see somebody on TV who has the same thing as her. I'm not going to go into a ton of detail. If you have the Discovery app, you get the uncensored version where they don't bleep shit out. She says some crazy shit, some shit that now gets said in our household all the time.
Perfect.
It's just it's fun for the whole family. But the other thing that I watched over the past few weeks that I highly, highly recommend, has anybody caught The Gorge yet?
No, but that's in my queue.
It was
You were
released
you
on,
were talking about it, right? To me?
I think, yeah, yeah. It was released on Apple TV. I don't know if it's released anywhere else yet other than Apple TV. But here's the thing. This is one of the best movies I've seen in a long time, and it went directly onto my list of movies to put on my hard drive. Here's the thing. The concept is there are two highly trained operatives. In this case, they're both snipers who are hired to live at opposite ends of this giant chasm. And there are these big tall tower buildings that they live in, and they're hired. It's all hush hush, it's all secret. They have to live there for a year. And they get there and they're like, okay, so who are we keeping out? And they're like, no, you're keeping what's in here in. And they never really tell them what it is. And throughout the course of the movie, it is kind of a love story. There's a whole, the distance, but you have to watch it. That's actually really well done. But the fucking visuals in this movie, when we actually get down into the gorge, it it's like there are a few movies out there that capture my imagination and stick with me forever. Like Constantine, visually amazing. Silent Hill, whether you like the movie or not, the visual atmosphere it created was amazing. This is right on that list with those two movies. Completely out of left field, not based on a book or any other property. It was just really good. Now, online, some people have torn it apart. I don't see any of the issues that they're talking about, but just based on if you're not going into this like highly critiquing a movie, it should still come out like a 7 or 8 out of 10. I mean, even if you are critiquing, I still think it should be pretty high because both the actors are good. Anna Taylor, Anna Joy Taylor,
Yes.
whatever. The girl whose eyes are a little too far apart, but somehow is still, very attractive. Miles Teller, who has bulked up a lot since playing Reed Richards. Holy crap, that dude looks like he could go toe to toe with like somebody in MMA now. I had no idea he had gotten so big. And it's basically the two of them and Jamie Lee Curtis are like maybe there's one other actor in the entire movie. It's only a few people. But man, the world they built down in that gorge is fucking amazing. You just have to watch it. I don't want to tell you anymore or ruin it, but there is shit in this movie I've seen that I've never seen in anything else, and it's rare, especially for me in my affinity for horror movies, to see things that I've never seen. Like I can't say, oh, that's kind of like this or this is kind of like that. This was straight up like wow. I don't wow very often. I wow.
Right.
Damar and I both wowed during that movie.
That's cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah, you need to check it out. It was, and it's not like most of my horror movies where like I think it's amazing, but you guys would be like, or oh, I'm too scared. I mean, it shouldn't. You should be able to watch this with Kristen, Paul. I mean, it's
Nice. Very cool. I will have to check that out because it does sound cool.
Yeah, I've
it,
seen some stuff about it. It does seem like it's decent. So,
yeah.
and I like Miles Teller. I liked him in I mean, he's been in a bunch of stuff. I liked him. I didn't never saw a Fantastic Four with him in it, but
Don't.
It's
I
not worth
got
it.
It was our no stop. It was okay.
No, it wasn't.
Yes, yes, it was.
I didn't
If
like it.
if it wasn't Fantastic Four, it would have been fine. It would have just been a sci-fi horrorish movie. The problem
Exactly.
is that they subverted too many things. But the name of the movie doesn't actually make it worse than it actually is. The movie itself wasn't awful. It just shouldn't have been a Fantastic Four.
It
I
should have
was
just
just
been called
completely
Four.
disillusioned with it. I didn't like
Yeah,
it at all.
they should have just
Yeah,
called it
exactly.
Four.
Disillusioned because you were
I didn't like it.
expecting something it didn't deliver on. I watched it years later and I was like, I had no expectations because I thought it was going to be awful. I came out of it going, that wasn't an awful movie.
Eh,
Maybe I should revisit. But
Yeah.
I'm not going
if you
to.
want to see a really good Miles Teller movie, watch Bleed for this.
yep, saw that.
That was good.
Phenomenal movie. It's a
Yep.
boxing movie.
Oh,
Yeah, it's very good.
It's super good. It was really, 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 really.
oh, so you guys already knew he was jacked. I had no idea.
Oh,
I
yeah.
thought he
This
was some
was.
skinny
I
little
think
kid.
this movie was from before he
It was
did
before,
Fantastic Four.
but
Oh.
he's also Rooster in Top Gun Maverick.
Yes, which also was a very good movie.
Yep.
He
Yes.
was supposed to play also Dan Aykroyd in a biopic of John Belushi with Emile Hirsch, supposed to be John Belushi, but that got scrapped quick. So, but all right, but turn it over to what I'm watching. I'll turn this. So I'm watching that show Doc that I still tell you guys about. It's
Oh yeah, yeah.
it's the
Yep.
doctor that gets in a car accident. She loses her memory for the last 8 years. 8 episodes in. It's only 10 episodes this season. It just got renewed today for a second season for 22 episodes. So it's a medical drama, but I think it's a really pretty cool show. One of the actors, a couple episodes ago, they touched on rape a little bit. So like the doctor was raped by one of the people in the hospital that she's supposed to be treating. So actually the acting was very good. I thought it was really well done. I reached out to her on her Instagram. I was like, your acting is really good on the show. I was wondering if you ever want to just talk about it. Actually, I'm going to talk to her in a couple weeks, which is pretty interesting. So I reached out to her. So I thought that was awesome. And Paul's going to roll his eyes with this one. I was like, I need a show to watch. So what can I watch? I'm watching Who's the Boss with Tony Danza. I was like, this is great. So I was like, I've never seen this show. And I was like, I've
What?
seen no, I never watched it. But I was like,
Oh my
okay.
God.
I was like, this is actually pretty entertaining. I'm really enjoying it. On the last one, we talked about trailers a couple weeks ago. I watched the trailer 3 times now. Andor season 2. So I'm very excited for that when that comes back because it's gonna be so amazing. And this actually should have had me geeked this week.
I wonder how that'll end.
Well, we all know how it's
Wah,
going to end,
wah,
but
wah.
I'm very excited for it over Skeleton Crew, which I still haven't seen, which I know you guys are like, why haven't you seen that
Watch it.
yet? No, not
That
yet.
was good.
Don't tell me what
No,
to do.
exactly. This should have had me geek this week. I'm in a Discord group, and my Discord went off. It's amazing news. Kathleen Kennedy is stepping down from CEO of Disney and Lucasfilms, and she's going to retire. Thank the fucking Lord. She is an asshole.
So let me ask you this: do you really
Yeah.
think anything's gonna fucking change?
No, but I don't like Kathleen Kennedy. Like when I was at Celebration, she was actually walking maybe in the distance in front of me. People were like starting fuck you chants. Nobody really liked her at all. And she was just like going
Wait,
in.
are you sure it
Like
was for her or for fucking Magnum PI?
no.
Oh shit.
Oh, you never know. Yeah, that one was in the front row. But no, but Kathleen Kennedy is a douche. No one likes her, so. But Andor season 2, Who's the Boss, and Doc are pretty good stuff.
All right.
Was that too much?
No?
A little bit.
I did fucking judo
I'm not
chop
gonna say
my
I'm not gonna
headphones
say it
right in
was
my
wrong.
ear.
I'm just saying.
Did you just judo chop yourself?
I judo chopped my fucking mic right on my ear, my
Oh.
speaker.
Nice. All right, I guess I'll go
You
next.
go.
So, I watched a couple of different things. So I watched a movie called Carry On.
Yeah.
It's on Netflix. It's got Jason Bateman in it. It's got is it? I can't remember. I don't know how to pronounce his name. Is it Ellerton?
You got
Taylor
it.
From,
Edgerton.
yeah,
Yeah.
they're like the two main guys in it. Ted is a security check guy at the airport at LAX, and Jason Bateman is trying to get a package on the plane. He's trying to get something on the plane. It's and he's trying to get it through security without it being flagged. So he blackmails Ted to get it on the plane. But the whole thing is obviously he doesn't want to do it, but um it's a decent movie. I'm not gonna say it's a great movie. I
Wait.
enjoyed it. I enjoyed it.
Is this the Edgerton guy?
Yep.
His name's
The guy who
Ted.
played he was in Kingsman,
Oh,
Yes.
yeah.
Kingsman Secret Service and Kingsman Golden Circle.
Golden Circle, right?
Yeah.
He's the main character. He's Eggy in that.
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking about. That's what I'm talking about. Jason Bateman plays the bad guy in it. So I enjoyed that. That was pretty good. The other one I watched was something that I had seen a couple times rumsing through Netflix. It's a movie called Aftermath. Um, it stars Dylan Sprouse from Sweet Life on Deck, and it's an action movie.
What?
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
Taron Edgerton.
Okay,
Okay. I was very
that's
confused.
fine. I wasn't 100% sure how to pronounce if it was Taryn or it was Tad, but so Aftermath it stars Dylan Sprouse, like I said, of the Sweet Life and of Zach and Cody, and he plays the main character. It's an action movie, and he plays a former Army Ranger, so he's pretty much a badass in it. And I was watching it, and all I kept thinking about was Sweet Life of Zach and Cody, Sweet Life on Deck, and I'm thinking, how do you see Cody, the skinny one in those shows, being a badass in a movie? And I was like laughing along with it. I'm like, I don't, I can't see this, but it actually turned out to be a pretty decent movie. It's there's a guy that is trying to capture a prisoner that's being transported, and he blows up a bridge in Boston. He blows two holes in the bridge in Boston, and Dylan's character and his sister are on the bridge, and he goes about taking out the hostages or hostage takers. So it's actually pretty decent. Um, I mean, I wouldn't write home about it, but uh, and then the other thing that I watched, so I watched three things. The other thing I watched was the was it Surviving Black Hawk Down on Netflix. So if you've seen the movie Black Hawk Down, and I know some of us here have, I'm sure my brother has, I'm sure Jack has. Paul, I'm not sure if you've seen it. That's a fantastic movie. Got a lot of great actors in it, but This is people who were actually in the Battle of Mogadishu. So what it is the Battle of Mogadishu, they were looking for a top lieutenant in the army that was there, and they were causing all kinds of havoc. We were there as a peacekeeping effort, so they were going to pick this guy up in the middle of downtown Mogadishu, and they call it the battleground because that's where they sell the weapon. That's where they sell all the black market weapons. This guy was at a hotel in the middle of all of that, and they were just supposed to drop in, get him, and get extracted out. And it was, I think it was three or four Blackhawks, a bunch of Apache helicopters, providing cover and stuff like that. Well, they dropped all these guys into this, and all hell broke loose. They weren't expecting that. They didn't bring any night vision goggles. They didn't bring any water. A lot of guys didn't have on the right armor. A lot of guys took the back plate out of their vest because they weren't expecting to get shot in the back. And the problem is, and if you've seen the movie, you'll understand. I know that Jack and Danny have. When the first helicopter got shot down, because there was four helicopters and two of them got shot down. When the first helicopter got shot down, that's when everything changed for these guys. And they talked to three guys, and I don't remember their names, but they said they had never been in combat before. Basically, they were brought there like 3 weeks before this mission went down, and they'd never been in a battle in a fight. And he goes, they were getting shot at from every single direction. He goes, a lot of times your instincts just took over because there were times that you didn't know who was shooting at you. You didn't know if it was male, you didn't know if it was female, you didn't know if they were kids. He goes, after a while, you just started shooting and you didn't care anymore because you were just thinking, I need to survive. So, one of the guys from the helicopter actually got taken hostage. His name is Mike Durant. He actually so I remember this from the movie, and Dan, Jack, you guys can attest to this, but he had a broken back, broke his leg, he had an orbital fracture in his face, all from the impact of the helicopter hitting the ground.
Wow.
And then he ended up being in hostage. I can't remember. I think it was a week, 10 days before they were able to. Even they said that they couldn't take care of him anymore. Like he was that bad. Like they immediately got him from where he was, flew him out to the battleship, and he was in surgery within 30 minutes to fix everything that was wrong with him. So, I mean, he did live. He's perfectly healthy and all that stuff. But, I have friends of mine that served. I have a buddy of mine that Paul knows from ITT that served. We don't mention his name. But I have other friends of mine that served, and uh, watching the stuff, Danny and I have talked many times about the snipers in Lone Survivor, Marcus Terrell and those guys. Um, it's amazing that these guys, what these guys go through, and how they survive, and the next day they just pick up and go about their business like it's nothing. So if you get a chance to watch Surviving Black Hawk Down, watch it. It will make you appreciate anybody that's in the Army, Navy, Marines, Air Force. It really will make you appreciate the fact that what these people put themselves through. So that's all I got. All right.
I'll go next. I'm
Go
not
ahead.
watching it. I'm not watching anything exciting. I've decided to relive my youth, and I'm watching Beverly Hills 90210. Uh,
We talked about this. Yes.
yeah. Um, that's really all I'm watching. I mean, I've gone back to a little bit when I don't want to sit and binge watch, 7 hours of Beverly Hills 90210, I'll binge watch 5 hours of Ink Master. So I've started some of those episodes over again, but that's really it. I mean, I slept through both Washington Capitals games over the weekend. And they won by a combined
That's
total
hockey,
of,
right?
yeah,
Yes.
Okay.
they've won by a combined score of 15-6. Um, but yeah, that's really about it. I'm watching Beverly Hills 90210 and a little bit of Ink Master. Sometimes a little bit of Big Bang, but that's just when I'm having something to eat. So that way if I'm eating sandwiches or something, I'm playing Far Cry because I can eat a sandwich and play Far Cry at the same time. So, um, you know, but if I'm having like a full-blown meal or ice cream or something like that, then I can only I have to watch TV. Otherwise, shit melts.
It
Figuratively.
melts.
So that's it for me.
Sorry,
Good
I
timing
died
there.
for a minute. Um, at least I'm fucking muting them.
Yeah, that's true.
So I'm not okay. No, that's a lie. I am watching one thing currently, and that's WWE LFG.
Yes, me too.
Hmm.
It's good.
I think I'm 2 episodes behind because I
There's only
realized
there's only
three. Yeah,
two,
I watched the
two or
first one.
three.
Three. Or three is coming up. I realized that it wasn't recording all the new episodes. I have the first one recorded, so we're still in that. One, BJ's a douche.
Yeah.
It must get better. I really want Bubba Ray just to beat the fuck out of him. Just saying. That promo he cut. Wow.
He was in the last show like this they did too. I've seen him before. Um,
Really?
yeah, whatever the most recent one where they had hopefuls trying to get in. Yeah, I don't know. I think he does have a lot of talent, but I think he's gonna end up being
Murdered?
his own worst enemy.
Oh, absolutely. And Booker T calls it out in the first episode. Like he's gonna fuck it up for himself. Other than that, I'm playing catch up on shows because we realized that our DVR has shit from last June. So we're starting to catch up on Interview with the Vampire. And
Oh,
like I told you guys, I finally started into Heels. I don't know what's wrong with me and why I can't just fucking keep watching fucking Supernatural, but no, I started into Heels and realized that Ace, he's a douche too. So, but again, I got one episode in on that and didn't go back. I will go back, but it seems like the only thing that I will um watch for real every week is wrestling. So,
I would love to see your DVR if you haven't DVR'd since June. Like your commercials are probably from last June too.
right, that was the funny thing is we're watching the first new episode of Interview with the Vampire, and it's all shit from literally like a year and a half ago.
Coming out this summer.
I'm like, oh wait, oh no, that's really old.
The
So,
McRib's back. Oh no, that was like it's 8 months ago.
but
Hmm.
I'm looking forward to that being a really good season because if I remember correctly, Hugh, you told me that was phenomenal. Season
Oh
two,
yeah, it was.
yeah,
It was fantastic.
way better than the audiobook that I couldn't finish. So, and that was all
what?
because you
Interview
guys
with a
told me.
Vampire?
Yes.
Great. That's a great show, man.
Love the
Uh,
book, love the show. The guy that reads Interview with the Vampire for Audible, fucking awful.
Wow.
well, in all fairness, that first book's a hard read. It's not as it's a different
Slow,
style
yes.
than everything that came after. The stuff that came after it grabbed you and held you. But that first book, I struggled with it. I actually ended up moving on and starting with the Vampire Lestat because I just couldn't handle. I did go back and read Interview eventually, but yeah, tough read.
I remember reading it in high school, and I loved it. Like actual reading, like actual.
Because you had no taste back then.
I still don't. Let's be honest.
I know.
You have COVID?
Why I
You
own
have
seven,
refined no taste now, though.
refined notate. That's why I own like 7 fucking CM Punk t-shirts. But
My God.
and that one I didn't even hit the mute for. Shit.
Way to go.
But those are the only ones I have. And otherwise, if anybody else has anything, no, then I think we can wrap
We can
this
drop
up.
we can drop nuggets.
Let's do that.
Well,
Could
make
be a
sure you
little
pick 'em
different
up.
this week.
Make sure you pick up your nuggets.
I don't want to pick them up.
Well, play with your nuggets.
Just let them drag, right?
All right, come on, drop your damn nuggets so we can get out of here.
When fascism arrives, it will show up swiftly and unannounced. And in that moment, you won't have time to examine your conscience or weigh the options or wrestle with the consequences. You'll have the few terrifying seconds it takes to watch a stranger be bound and wrestled to the ground. We're standing on the precipice of history. Decide where you stand and commit to do something. Because doing nothing is no longer an option. It's time for a revolution. And the revolution will be streaming.